Hello, and welcome back to part 4 of making a game character in Blender, or a base mesh anyway. Okay, so last video we did the feet, but I forgot to do something. So what we want to turn the feet slightly. So go to X-ray view and select all of the foot and press R to rotate and X. Oh, that's not right. Control Z. In fact, we want to do it on the Z. So R, Z, and I'm just going to move them out slightly like that. Oh, makes it look a little weird. I'm just going to bend them out slightly just to give them a bit more of a natural shape. We might want to just play around with that leg later. Right. That in slightly. Okay. Okay, so hand. So we're going to do the hand in the exact same way we did the foot. So Shift A to add, and I'm going to add a cube. I'm going to turn clipping off. S to scale it down. And then I'm going to G to grab, place it over here, R to rotate, so that it's lined up roughly. G to grab. Now, you'll notice it's not lined up properly there, so we'll just move it like that. Now, we will rotate the hand later to get it into position, but we'll just leave it like that for now. Okay, so for the hand, what we want to do is we want to have this piece essentially be the top of the hand, leaving a gap for where we're going to connect it. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at the thickness. So I'm going to turn off that, and I'm just going to grab this face and I'm going to pull it out slightly, just because I want the hand to be a little thicker, like that. And that's what I'm going to use as my basic shape. So go back to X-ray, to vertex mode, and I'm going to select these bottom vertex. I'm going to E to extrude, and that's going to be G to grab, pull that in like that. And then I'm going to scale it, but only on the X. I'm going to rotate it, scale it on the X again. So if we scale it on the X, it'll only scale in that direction, so it'll keep the thickness. Then go back to front view, and then we're going to E to extrude again, G to grab, R to rotate, and S and X to scale. Okay, so that's the basic. We're only making a sort of claw hand. We're not going to make fingers. Again, that would be its own separate tutorial video to make an actual hand with fingers. So this is just going over, like I say, the base mesh, the basic base mesh. Right, so for a thumb, what we're going to do is we're going to turn off X-ray view, and we're going to think about this. So if we go to the front view and have a look, now what we want to do is we want to basically create a shape. So I'm going to turn X-ray back on, and I'm just going to drag this up slightly, so it's a little closer to the hand, like that. And then I'm going to put in a loop cut where the thumb would start. All right, let's look at this. And then I'm going to put a loop cut. Let me just get rid of the reference as well so you can see. Going this way, but I'm going to slide it up slightly, and then we're going to make this face the thumb. Okay, so let's go back into front view, get our reference back, and we're going to E to extrude from that face, G to grab, R to rotate the face, SX to scale. Okay, and I'm going to G to grab and make it a bit more like that. And then I'm going to E to extrude again, G to grab, R to rotate the face, SX to scale on the X, and there we go. That's going to be the thumb. Okay, so now what we've got to do is we've got to connect this with this. Okay, so let's see how many edges we've got, because we haven't. Now, let's just show you something. I'll click Alt, and click this line here, then press M, and at center, no, is it F? No, perhaps not. So I think I'm going to need, again, the same amount as we had before, which was 8. So if I put a loop cut going that way, in fact, we want that to be the other way. So I actually want, that's fine. So one that way, then one that way, and then another one there. That should give us all the faces we need. They're not exactly right, but we should be able to work with that. So I'm going to grab the faces selection, select all the faces, and delete X and faces. What I'm going to try and do is circularize that. So I'm going to go to edge selection, select that edge, and then come up here to circle, and it has circularized it nicely. Okay, now before I attach that, I'm just going to go ahead and tidy that up a little bit. So go into vertex mode. Some of these vertex here are just protruding out a little bit, not where I want them to be. I'm just going to make that into a nice circle. Okay, and then Alt select, so go into edge mode, Alt select, Shift Alt select, and then come to here, which is edit, menu search, bridge loop tools. Okay, now sometimes when you do this, you get really bad geometry, so triangles like this. Okay, so that's not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo that, undo those edits that I made. And instead, I'm just going to select the whole loop by holding Alt, and then I'm going to scale it in. We'll scale uniformly like that. Okay, and now I'm going to hold L over this and select. So, edit mode, hold over. Why ain't that working? Press L. Is that not working? Be able to pick everything that's linked to that. I just have to click something. And then I'm going to rotate it so that it's lining up here a little bit better. Okay. So that's starting to look a little better. I think it still needs rotating a little bit this way. Just going to front view. Rotate it, grab it. Okay, and I still think we're going to get that weird geometry. But we can fix that, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the loop here, and then Shift, Alt, select that loop, and then come up to Edit, Menu Search, Bridge Tools, okay? So you can see that that's made it a little janky, but like I say, we can fix this. So we don't want triangles, we want quads. Now the best way, sometimes this happens with the bridge tools, the best way to fix it is to just get rid of, so for instance, click on this edge and then press X, and then we want dissolve edges, and then you've got a quad. Okay, so same here, X, dissolve edges, here, X, dissolve edges, then we're just getting our quads back, dissolve edge, dissolve edge, go around doing that, dissolve edge, dissolve that, and then just keep in mind, think about which ones you need to dissolve, and there we go. And now, yes, we've got a really janky connection there. So there we go. But we're going to fix that. So that hand there is not right. So I'm going to go to the vertex mode and X-ray, and I'm going to select the whole of the hand. I'm going to try to at least. I'll just find an angle at which I can select it all. In fact, I think the best way to do it is hold Alt, select that loop. Let me just go turn that off. So select that loop. Okay, there we go. Oh, it hasn't selected the whole thing, so I can just hold Shift and there. Still got a triangle there that we need to fix. Then I should be able to just move that like that. That's going to help straight away. Then we're going to have to go into vertex and tidy that up individually, which is not too much of a problem. Okay, so one last thing I like to do with this is to make the thumb a little better. I've got two thumbs there for some reason. Got a double thumb. I'll leave it. Looks fine. Why that's happened. So I'm gonna grab that there to X dissolve face. Okay, so we've got that there. Okay. So that's going to be the hand. Now, so look how much time we've got left. Let's prepare for the head. Okay, so for the head, again, in the same way we did the hands and feet, we're going to do the head. So actually I want to go to object mode. I want to go Shift A, add in a cube. Okay, this doesn't have a mirror modifier on it just yet. So just remember that. So just bring it up and then scale it. Don't move it off the Z. Don't move it on the X and Y for now. And then, so just line it up roughly. Scale it slightly. Okay, and then we want to go and add a modifier. We want to add the subdivision surface modifier. We want to add 2 of them. So just go to the viewport levels and click 2. That'll give us the basic shape that we're going to use for the head. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to just scale that up again slightly, because right now it's not fitting the head shape that well. So like that. Okay, and then go into edit mode. In fact, before you do that, go back to object mode, apply the mirror modifier. Okay, and then go into edit mode, cut in half, as we do. We don't have this on, so it's only going to have selected half. X faces, and then we've got half a circle, or sphere, should I say. And then we go and add the mirror modifier again. Okay, so now any changes we make on this side will show on that side. And this is just a case of getting the selection tool and lining it up with the face. Just grab that, put that up there. Try and think about when you're selecting these vertices how that's going to work. This one wants to be the eye line. This one wants to essentially be for the nose, and this one wants to be for the mouth. This can be the chin. Bring that chin down. Again, we are only doing a really basic head, so don't worry too much about it. Side view, let's make the image. Okay, so here we want to bring out this. Oops. On the other side, so we can see what we're doing a little better. So this wants to be brought out for the chin. This wants to be brought out for the front of the face, like this. Bring this out a bit. Oops, didn't get all of those. Bring that out like this. Tidy this up because we don't want this to be such a mess. Make sure that the back of the head is right as well. I'm not going to follow the shape exactly, because I want it to be a little bigger than my reference, really. Okay, so let us just tidy that up slightly. So if we bring it down to roughly this place where it's going to be, does it fit? Okay, that should do the job for us for what we want for this particular video. Okay, so how do we attach that to the neck? Right, so the first thing we need to do is we need to apply all the mirror modifiers that we've got, because I don't think we're on the right side. So if you look here, object mode, I've made a bit of a mistake. So edit mode, go into here. Let's turn that off. If we go into edit mode, you see I'm editing on this side, but if I go into object mode on here, I'm editing on the other side. So that's a bit of a mistake I've made. So in order to just get past that, I'm going to have to apply this mirror modifier. So mirror, well, in order to do that, we've got to be in object mode. And we're going to apply, and then we're going to click on the body, and then we're going to apply that too. So now everything has been applied. What we're going to do now is we're going to attach the head, right? So just lift the head up and then go into edit mode. And then we're going to use, so wait, before we do that, actually, let's go to the body and see how many faces we've got to play around with. So 4 faces, right? So let's get rid of those faces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Delete faces. And then I guess we'll use 1, 2. I guess we'll use 1. Yeah, those faces, right? So go back to object mode, click on the head, go into edit mode, and then sort of prepare the space. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. Delete. Okay, but as you can see, that's not right. So we're going to have to grab that loop that goes around. So Alt and click. Okay, and I'm just going to scale that up. So it's a little fatter, so it's going to fit a little better. Okay, and we can go around and let's just scale it on the X for start. So SX. Open up that neck a little bit. Okay, that's looking good. So click on it, hit L, I'll select all, move it roughly into place where we want it. This is where we're going to start lining it up. Okay, so roughly like that. We can actually rotate it slightly. Okay, now ideally, because if we leave it like that, it's going to create quite a lot of geometry, the extra geometry that we really don't want. Let's just get it connected though, and we can worry about that later. So for instance, this bit here, if we go to, I can just pull that up because I don't want that to be a pointed edge. In the same way, I don't think I want that to be a pointed edge. So if I just go to, click on here, edit mode, lower that down. Let's give that a try. So we need to make this one object, which right now is a separate object. So we go into object mode, click the body, click the head, and then it's Control J to join them. You can see now that they're one object. And then if we go into edit mode, now we can select the loops we need. So go to edge select, Alt select the neck, Shift Alt select the top, and then go to the edit menu, bridge tools. And there we go. It fills in our neck. Now again, that isn't perfectly what we want. It's going to need some tidying up, as it always does when we use the bridge tools. And what we might find we want to do is actually undo that and line up these vertices a little better so they actually connect, right? So that's, now it's all one object. It's a little harder. Probably should have done this a minute ago. We go to vertex, and I'm just going to move this down so it's not having such a weird janky connection. Line that up a little better. They're all kind of lined up. This is a problem as well. Okay, and we're also going to scale the neck in slightly. Okay, that looks a little better. Let's try that again. So Alt Shift to select this top bit, and then we go, and it'll tell us actually we could do a Control E to do bridge loops if we wanted. Okay, that's looking a bit better. Okay, still looking really janky on the side here. So what we can do is go into edge mode, vertex mode, and just manually start sorting this out. You tend to have to go in manually when you use the bridge tools to sort things out. Sometimes easier to have that off. Okay, what we might want to do is select this entire loop and just scale it a bit because it's not quite so thin. We needed it thin a minute ago, but now we can thicken it out again, and also try and keep this vertex here straight. That's going to help a lot. Okay. So not 100% perfect. We've still got some work to do to tidy this up. Smoothing it out probably is going to help us. But that's it for this part of the video. Now, the next part will be adding some really basic textures and then adding a costume to him, okay? And then also doing some work with the elbows and the knees so that they'll bend nicely. That's the thing we'll do in the next session is do the elbows and knees. But I'll see you in the next one.